The EF28mm f1.8 USM is the last wide-angle large aperture prime on Canon's lineup, before we enter the more expensive, larger aperture, wider focal length L series, with the 24mm f1.4L. The 28 f2.8 doesn't offer the same level of low-light flexibility, and the 35 f2 isn't as wide. So this is the best of both worlds, all for a fairly low cost. At 73 by 55mm of 310 grams of mostly plastics, the first thing we notice on the EF28 f1.8 is the old school design, launched in 1995 next to the similar 50 f1.4 and 20 f2.8 that are both still on the current lineup. The usability sports a manual focusing ring, a distance window, a plastic exterior and the golden USM finishing, fairly portable and easy to use, the best in class on the mid-market. The camera balances perfectly with your hands over the manual focusing ring, sporting full-time manual, and this ring is well damped, perfectly in sync with the all-internal focusing group. The distance window also shows markings in feet and in meters, and the autofocus motor is silent and fast, the standard performance of all USM. But different than the similar 50 f1.4 USM, this 28 is all internal. Nothing moves on the outside, also meaning the internal mechanism is better protected against dust. Finally, at the front, the 28 f1.8 accepts 58mm filters that fix over the first optical element, avoiding flaring. At the rear, the metal mount feels secure for years of operation, and Canon America doesn't supply it with a lens hood or carrying case. Overall, this is a fairly well put together lens, despite the over 2 decades of market, typical of the mid-level EF lineup. With the 10 elements in 9 groups optical formula, being monospherical to enhance corner resolution, and the overall double Gauss design to correct for lateral aberrations, the performance delivered by the 2-decade-old 28 f1.8 USM is hard to swallow. Not bad to avoid recommending it, but not best in class, especially when paired with high-resolution cameras. The main issue is the overall softness up to f4, going against the large aperture purchase that would allow it to be used under low-light, wide-angle lens. This is visible on the lack of contrast and details even on the edges of the APS-C format, here tested on the EOS M, and the not-so-smooth autofocus quality, better delivered by newer designs. Stopping down does enhance some contrast and detail definition for landscape, but even on the edges of the APS-C format, the softness is still visible, paired to high contrast lateral chromatic aberration of over 2 pixels thick. The bokeh is also not the best, especially over a meter of the minimum focusing distance, and it displays some levels of axial chromatic aberrations over highlights, also with the 7-sided polygon of the 7 blades straight aperture. Also, the geometry varies with the focusing distance, showcasing a heavy bulge from 2 meter or less focusing distance, keeping straight lines only at the infinity focus. But it's the colors that seal the deal on this Canon prime lens, always being saturated for vivid files out of the camera, great to work with everyday subjects. So overall, it's a fair performance for a mid-level lens that delivers the wide-angle large aperture spec, despite not being the best. It's a good alternative for those on a budget over this kind of images, especially if you don't plan on delivering prints. Just keep your expectations low on the intermediary lineup, and nice shooting!